without signing or vetoed these bills. The governor signed 917 bills into law and vetoed 66 bills of those. I want to talk about a few bills that would be of interest to specifically Westminster, and also just the different issues that I think would be of interest to the residents and yourself as a council that passed or got vetoed. First, a couple bills that are of interest. As you know, the Vietnamese American community has 80% of the nail salon owners and nail technicians in the state of California are Vietnamese American. This is the single largest job sector for Vietnamese American in the state of California. So I made it a priority to work to making sure we fix the problem that was handed to us through AB 5. So AB 1561 helps to extend the exemption from the ABC Workers Classification Test for manicurists so that they can continue to work as independent contractor until January 1st, 2025. It will allow manicurists or nail technicians to continue to choose between working as an employee or an independent contractor. As you know, this issue was passed in 2019 by the state legislative body, AB 5, which cost thousands of independent contractors their jobs in the state, but particularly, unfortunately, targeted the Vietnamese American community, which is the nail salon industry. And so that was my priority, making sure that we come back to try to fix the problem that has been caused upon us back in 2019. In addition, I'm very excited to announce that AB 167, after 4 years, the creation of the model curriculum for the Vietnamese American experience has been funded through the Education Budgetary Bill. As you remember, in 2018, your council and over 20,000 people across the state and over 600 people testified in Sacramento during the Senate and Assembly hearings. And I want to thank the council member Ty Do, who flew up to Sacramento to also testify as well to support SB 895. Just a kind of reminder that this bill will finally have the voices of Vietnamese refugees and the former South Vietnam soldiers when the Vietnam War is taught from K to 12 grades. So it would allow a curriculum to so that children in California can understand and hear the voices of Vietnamese refugees, like my family, like myself, and my father, who served in the South Vietnam soldier, and many other veterans in our community. So something is very exciting. So again, I want to thank your council and the city's support for those who were there in 2018. On to some other issues. Businesses, as you know, the pandemic absolutely devastated our community's businesses. As a small business owner myself, I know and understand firsthand how the pandemic shutdown has hurt businesses. So one of my priorities coming back to the state, the capital, is to fight for our businesses, business owners, and to reopen our economy. 3 bills that I believe was very effective and was very helpful to our community. AB 80 that allows eligible businesses to deduct business expenses that were paid for using the Forgiven Paycheck Protection Program, which is PPP, or the Economic Injury and Disaster Loan, which is EIDL funds. I was also co-author, and this bill was chapter. Actually, all 3 of them have been chapter. SB 87 appropriates $2.1 billion for California small business, COVID-19 relief grant program for businesses in our community that struggled during the COVID-19 shutdown. And the other one is AB 83. It waived future license renewal fees for 3 years starting 2021 for more than 600,000 barbering and cosmetology individuals and businesses licensed by the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology, and approximately 50,000 restaurants and bars licensed by the Department of Alcohol and Beverage Control. Issues affecting our children and families. Our families and children, as you know, have dealt with school shutdown, distant learning, parents without work and unable to put food on the table for their families, and much more. As a working mom of 2 elementary school boys in our public school, I definitely understand and know firsthand how difficult it was to have to homeschool my boys or Zoom school my boys lot of those folks also were in prison in our state prison jails. So lots of reforms has been made, and some of them I believe that I would like to bring to your attention. First is SB 753, which allows the California Workforce Development Board to assess EDD wage data for purposes of evaluating the program's effectiveness. Second is AB 110. This one is going to help us stop the fraud, or at least get us into the right direction. This one requires EDD to cross-check any claim information with information provided by the California Department of Corrections before making a payment of unemployment compensation to these individuals. So they have to cross-check and make sure that people in prison are not receiving EDD money, funds, while our working mom and dad are being able to assess those funds. This next one, AB 12, is now requiring EDD to stop sending outgoing U.S. mail to individual that contains their Social Security number. I was also a co-author on this bill. Just an update in terms of EDD cases in our office. Our office has received thousands of cases in the last several months. Of those, about 500 cases came from just Westminster alone. I know, during this time, EDD has been so overrun that our district staff has had to do a lot of the work to help people in our district to get the benefits they need. And so, even today, if you know of anyone who is having difficulty with EDD regarding their unemployment from last year and this year as well, please reach out to my office, and we would do our best to help and assist and hopes to resolving the issues for you. Next topic is public safety, criminal justice reform. This is always a very important topic in our communities and businesses. While I supported a lot of good bills, more important, I also voiced opposition towards some very irresponsible bills that would compromise the safety of businesses and families in our community. AB 57 was I was co-author in this chapter. It expands training on hate crimes that have risen significantly in our neighborhoods during the pandemic in view of law enforcement policies related to hate crimes. With this, I also want to thank Council Member Doe and also Monzo for attending our anti-hate crime press conference this year when we start seeing the numbers rise against Asian Americans in Orange County across the state. So thank you for your attention to that. Thank you for your attendance of it as well. So good news is this bill would help law to look at all these hate crimes and begin to significantly help our community evaluate them. Two bills, several bills that I believe that are significantly harmful to our community. One is AB 333, which significantly weakens anti-gang laws and removes loitering, felony vandalism, felony theft of an access card, counterfeiting, identity theft, from the list of offenses that demonstrate a pattern of criminal gang activity. So that, as stated, it will weaken our anti-gang laws. Next, that was signed and by the governor. It is the law. Two other bills. One was signed and the other one was vetoed. The one that was vetoed would have SB 357, removes penalty for prostitution-related crime, which basically making prostitution legal. The good news is the governor looked at it and he vetoed the bill. The next bill, which really worries me, is SB 383. It allows juvenile offenders to sell drugs. So in other words, minors are now able to sell drugs in school or anywhere, which really gives drug dealers now a way to start recruiting our children to sell these drugs in school and beyond, knowing that there's no penalty to these children. It scares me to death because I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, two young boys who are attending our public schools. And, so please, parents, as you're to file a claim. That was also signed to law. The next one, the governor vetoed it, is SB 665, which authorizes private employers to establish a written veterans preference employment policy to be applied uniformly to hiring decisions. Unfortunately, that was vetoed. In conclusion, Mayor and Council, my office and I are always here in the community. As you've seen, a lot of us at events, we're supporting our local businesses. We have started out, recognizing small businesses in our district every month through our social platforms and attend events and also assist in community activities as well. During these next few months, we are looking at new ideas and suggestions from constituents as we build our legislative package for next year. So I really encourage, those who are listening in, that lives in Westminster or even the city, if you have any, legislative ideas, or any feedback for us, please give us a holler. And again, thank you for allowing me to speak, and I really appreciate the efforts of Westminster. And I'm honored to work with you to create an environment where all of our residents can thrive. It's been a great honor. I've been able to learn so much since I've been able to represent, Westminster since 2007. And so again, it's a pleasure, and thank you for allowing me to speak tonight.
Really appreciate that on behalf of Westminster City Council. Like, thanks, Assembly Member Janet Quinn for sending our city, Sacramento. Really appreciate everything that you do. Thank you for the update. Next we have an honor for that update from Senator John Oakham, 34 Senate District.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Assemblymember Wynn, for that excellent update on several things that are happening in Sacramento, and particularly with respect to the oil spill. Again, it's not directly impacting the border of Westminster, but it does impact all of us economically, and it impacts our quality of life. Our Georgia Beach. Tomorrow I'll be going to Sacramento to sit on a panel concerning the oil spill, its cause, and what we need to do as a state government to both prevent as well as clean up and contain any other spills. A couple other things. One, I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council, Administration, Westminster, for your leadership during the pandemic. You've done an excellent job of keeping our community as safe as is possible. Westminster has a very high vaccination rate, and I know that they had a very high face mask wearing rate during the period of the pandemic, and that kept all of us safer. So thank you for that. We still have a way to go. Today we had a vaccination and flu shot clinic, and a number of folks participated, but we still have a way to go. It's still really important for folks to get vaccinated. Really important for folks to get their booster, and really important for folks to get a flu shot, especially as we enter the winter. So let me continue my thank yous. It was a pleasure to be with all of you as we recognized and discussed a contribution by the state, investment by the state of $1.5 million in the Mendez Trail and the memorial. It is a critical part of our history, some of it very sad, when we segregated our young people into schools based upon race. It's a very sad part of our history. But fortunately, we are amongst the heroes, the Mendez family, who took it upon themselves to correct that social injustice. And right here in Westminster, they did so. Westminster really has been leading the way. That was a long time ago. The Mendez family fought segregation by race, and the Supreme Court, the California Supreme Court, outlawed it. And their opinion became the basis of the Brown versus Board of Education decision several years later that outlawed segregation by race in schools throughout the country. It's so important that our young people understand that history. It's so important that our young people understand what happened and what was done to correct it, and how one person can step up and really make a huge difference in the way we live. So thank you all. You've been at this for quite a number of years, and I want to congratulate you for your leadership and your success on the Mendez Trail and the monuments. Also, in terms of bilingual education and Vietnamese English fortunate to be able to create a fund this year, a $10 million fund, that makes available immersion, Vietnamese English immersion for our young people. It's $10 million, which school districts can compete for. Westminster School District is in the lead. Westminster School District has the finest Vietnamese English immersion program. There are two others in Orange County. Those are the only ones that exist in the state. And so I am hopeful that that we will be successful, that Westminster schools will be successful in obtaining some funding to continue that excellent program. Next, in terms of homelessness is an issue that's on the minds of all of us who have responsibility here in Westminster, Orange County, to make sure that people are housed. One of the things that we did historically is we introduced a bill which was signed by the governor that allows for the conversion of certain hotels into transitional housing. One such place is in Anaheim. In Anaheim, not too far from where we are, a motel rather, converted to transitional housing. That's the Kona Hotel. As you know, homelessness is a consequence of a number of things. Sometimes mental illness, sometimes substance abuse, sometimes both. And oftentimes homelessness leads to substance abuse and homelessness. We're also able to raise and contribute $5 million to Be Well Orange County. If you're not familiar with Be Well Orange County is a wraparound concept for those that are mentally ill, provide services, provide treatment, provide other services so that folks who have mental illness are treated as those who have other physical illnesses and can recover and become productive citizens and do so in a way that is caring and humane. There'll be another facility nearby. Right now, the first facility is in Orange. The next facility will be in Irvine and then in Huntington Beach. So we're going to be back at work here very soon in Sacramento. Echoing Assemblymember Wynn's comments, we're in the business, just like you're in the business, of serving and caring for the people that have elected us to government. And one of our key responsibilities during the pandemic has been assisting small businesses and assisting individuals who have been impacted by EDD. And EDD, functioning EDD is embarrassment for all of us that needs to and must be corrected. I'm not just talking about the huge amount of fraud, I'm talking about the inadequate services. But having said that, folks who are listening, their friends, their families, their neighbors, should they need assistance, we would welcome them to call our office. Our office phone number here in Orange County is 714-558-3785, and we welcome opportunities to assist anyone in our district who has needs concerning whether it's EMB, whether it's state health care, whether it's EDD. So thank you one more time for the opportunity to speak with you. I look forward to your suggestions, your advice, your counseling here over the next year. I've been privileged to first represent Westminster in 1990. I see some people are rolling their eyes because some people obviously were born in 1990 and had gone off and done other ventures, but I'm pleased to be back representing the city of Westminster. So, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Mayor, council members. Thank you.
And on behalf of the city council, we want to thank you for your dedication, for your leadership, especially for our city with 145 million for our city project. Tremendous project, and that project really important to our community. So you really help us, our community, make a difference. Really appreciate your help and appreciate your leadership.
Thank you.
So with that, I'd like to have oral communication.
So this is the time of the meeting where members of the public may address the city council regarding any items on the agenda or non-agenda items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction. So at this time, I'll be reading any comments received as well as allowing members of the public to speak for a total of 5 minutes. So at this time, if anyone would like to speak, please raise your hand, and when I call your name, I will allow you to speak. So if I
ta lên bằng cách chạm vào màn hình, nhưng mà quý vị nhìn vào màn hình thì có thể ghi bàn tay đấy, thì biểu tượng của bàn tay này thì chạm vào đó thì là mong định cho đó thì phải có điều kiện rất là đúng. Thank you.
So I only received one e-comment, and that was from Wen. She expressed concern regarding council members' Ho's request to move the mayor's office from City Hall and requested City Council meetings to be in person for seniors to attend. There were no additional e-comments, and I did receive one request to speak in advance, so at this time we'll be calling their names followed by the list of attendees. That individual is Dao Tran.
Hi, you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Dao Tran. I'm here tonight to raise my voice and the voice of my Vietnamese community in Westminster City and Orange County about the chaos in our lovely city of Westminster, which we call the capital of the Vietnamese people against the communists. The chaos in the city council is caused by council member Kimberly Ho, collaborated by council members Kaido and Carlos Menzo. Kimberly Ho, through the Vietnamese media, used spread fake news about Mayor Chita and Vice Mayor Charlie Nguyen, and then used the city's money to pay for the translation of your life into English. Shame on you. Kimberly Ho, together with Kaido and Menzo, tried to shut the mayor's mouth when he accused him of selling the city park property, but not allow him to show the letter from the buyer's lawyer, Mr. Kevin Marquez. This barbaric action reminded me of the communists in Vietnam when they muzzled Father Vietnamese. Why do you have to hide this letter? Is that because it shows the facts about Mrs. Ho's lies and accusations? I'm telling you that in Ho and Menzo, you are becoming dictators now, right in this city, in a country of freedom. You three are abusing the power of the majority to do ridiculous, unlawful things such as Ho and Menzo want to move the mayor's office out of the city hall. Remember, this office has been in this city hall for 64 years. 13 mayors were there. Mayor Chita is the 19th one. Also remember that the mayor
council wants to do that again.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, so that everybody have a fair chance to call in and have an opportunity to speak. Okay, well, so I recommend that we was it you could speak and then look back. Right, thank you, man.
Can I start now?
Yes.
My name is Tin Nguyen. The main concern is do not remove mayor office from City Hall. City member Kimberly Ho, Tai Do, and Carlos Tanto. Now you three on the city council, the gang of three political troublemakers, want to kick out Mayor Chita from City Hall. How low can you stoop? Can you get? You three are small-minded and short-sighted. You want to punish Mayor Chita, and you are using the city council to hurt the people he is serving. You are making a joke out of this city council. The voter can see through your actions. They condemn you for this. Shame on you. Shame on you. The mayor office has been located in City Hall for the past several decades. And there's no reason for it to be removed. Why are you bringing up this issue now? There is no legitimate reason for the three of you to do this other than personal revenge and jealousy. It is dangerous. This action go against everything that you are sworn to represent. If you three go ahead to remove the mayor office from this city hall, you will have to answer your actions with the people of Westminster. As a Westminster voter, I will make sure that all three of you will be held accountable for your misconduct. You must stop and drop this matter tonight. Clean up your act, please. Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
This is Tony. The second person would be Lee. Can you go ahead?
This is the interpreter, in terms of what the number explain, your need or position of, interpreter. 但是老一部分有跟你有关。
Speak Vietnamese. She speak Vietnamese.
Correct. 我现在也是讲那是讲是讲the interpreter will interpret for name. Còn nói đi.
Tôi tên là Linh Thâm, là cư dân địa hạt 3 của thành phố Westminster.
My name is Lin Tan. I am a resident of District 3, the city of Westminster.
Tôi lên tiếng ngày hôm nay để phản đối cái đề nghị dời văn phòng thị trưởng ra khỏi City Hall.
I am picking up today to object the relocation of the mayor office outside of City Hall.
Với nhận thức của tôi thì đây chỉ là một hành động trả thù cá nhân và muốn nhục mạ thị trưởng trí đạo.
Based on what I see, this is a personal vendetta, and also to begin for to embarrass Mayor Tan.
Nhưng hành động này sẽ có tác hại rất lớn cho danh dự và uy tín của thành phố.
But this cause damage, central damage to the city Khan, Mayor Khan and City Council member, will not speak up.
Tôi nghĩ chị Kim Thị Hồ có thể hành động trả thù cá nhân của bà ta, nhưng các nghị viên khác thì không thể tiếp tay cho một hành động mù quáng và tai hại như vậy.
I think City Council member Holt can carry out her personal vendetta, but the other City Council members should not assist her, blindly help her to carry out her personal vendetta.
Đây là lúc mà các nghị viên cần phải xác định vai trò và trách nhiệm của mình với toàn thể cư dân khi tuyên thệ nhậm chức, chứ không phải là phục vụ cho quyền lợi phe nhóm ích kỷ của mình.
So this is the time that City Council members need to re-examine their role when they take the oath, was to serve the entire citizens or residents of the city of Westminster, and not just a group.
Thưa quý vị, văn phòng thị trưởng nằm trong City Hall đã có từ ngày bắt đầu lập thành phố này, chứ không phải là ông Tạ Đức Trí lập nên nó.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor office has been at City Hall since the founding or the establishment of the city. Mayor Barr did not set that up.
Và tôi cũng muốn hỏi quý vị là đã có một thành phố nào trên đất nước Hoa Kỳ này mà thị trưởng không có được một văn phòng trong tòa nhà của chính quyền thành phố không?
And I would like to ask you to tell me if you know of any city in America where the city mayor office is not within City Hall.
Thưa quý vị, nếu không có văn phòng trong City Hall thì làm sao thị trưởng có thể tiếp dân cư, nhân viên hay là các vị khách công giúp cho các hoạt động của thành phố?
And so if the mayor office is not within City Hall, how would the mayor be able to receive visitors or to interact with the staff and to carry out his duties?
Khi mà ông cần phải ký các văn bản hàng ngày, chẳng lẽ mỗi lần như vậy thì các nhân viên, viên chức phải đi tìm, phải lái xe đi tìm ông thị trưởng để ký giấy tờ?
So when the mayor signs or certain document, does it mean that now city staff can drive around looking for him every time they need him to sign a document?
Với tư cách là một cư dân, một cử tri của địa hạt 3, đơn vị bầu cử cho bà Hồ,
As a resident and also a voter, resident of District 3, Ms. Ho or council member of this district,
tôi xin đặt một câu hỏi cho bà Kim Thị Hồ.
I have this question for City Council member Kimberly Ho and also other City Council members.
Quý vị đứng về phía cư dân, về danh dự, sự đúng đắn và trách nhiệm với thành phố, hay là một băng đảng lạm quyền trước khi bị chốt phế?
Are you standing with the residents, the citizens of City of Westminster, or are you standing with the gang where pretty soon they will be recalled?
Tôi cầu quý vị là để quý vị đoàn kết, làm việc sáng suốt, sáng tạo để phát triển thành phố này.
We voted you in so that you can work together. You lessen the value of those of the office by having those people sitting in the city council members' chair and to have their own ticket.
Trong buổi họp đó tôi thấy có mặt của ông Phát Bùi nữa. Tôi không biết ông ta vào đó ngồi với vị trí gì, với tư thế gì.
I saw Mr. Fat Boy
Could you stop in the
meeting. I don't know why he was there and what he was there for, what position he held. He was there.
It's a personal attack or something, someone that not on the council, she needs to address the city council.
Okay, cô không có được tấn công cá nhân những cái người mà không có ở trong hội đồng trị của thành phố. Cô chỉ tập trung vào những vấn đề của thành phố, cô không có tấn công cá nhân những người khác. Đó là lời của nghị sĩ đại độ.
Tôi hiểu, nhưng mà tôi nghĩ rằng đó không phải là tấn công cá nhân, mà tôi muốn đặt câu hỏi là ông Bùi Phát ngồi vào đó với vị trí gì? Chứ tôi không tấn công, xin lỗi.
I understand. That was a question that I have. I would like to know what Mr. Factway was there. What was his position? It was not a personal attack, and if it was, I apologize for that.
Bởi vì ông ta là nghị viên của Garden Row, thành ra tôi mới đặt câu hỏi như vậy. Đó là một hành động cổng rắn cắn gà nhà, thưa bà Kim Ly Hồ.
I am asking that question because Mr. Boyd is a city councilman from the city of Garden Row and not Westminster, and so Miss Kimberly Ho is bringing him in here to cause problem.
Câu cuối cùng tôi muốn nói với quý vị, cử tri và cư dân của thành phố Westminster sẽ phán xét hành động của quý vị qua phiếu bầu của tối hôm nay.
And before I leave here, there's one thing I want to say. The voter and the resident of the city of Westminster will,
cử tri và cư dân của thành phố Westminster sẽ nhìn vào hành động của quý vị trong cái buổi tối này khi mà quyết định dời văn phòng thị trưởng ra khỏi City Hall hay là không. Và quý vị có quyền làm điều đó, còn chúng tôi có lá phiếu của chúng tôi.
So the citizens and also the voter and the residents of the city of Westminster, they are watching this, and they're going to watch your vote on the relocation of the mayor office. Yes, you might be able to relocate the mayor office, but we, the voter, we will answer. We will respond to that with our vote.
Xin cảm ơn người phiên dịch và xin cảm ơn quý vị đã cho tôi phát biểu.
Thank you, Mr. Interpreter, and also thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Hi, next. Hello. Next,
On to the next speaker, just we have any speaker, so I'd like to remind all members of the council, the last speaker, I did not see any personal attack, to be honest, so I think as elected officials, so we all need to listen to ideas and concern from members of the community. So for the group of speaker, I think that our city staff will invite you back right now. You know, city club will invite the next speaker, but please go back to the group and invite all of them to speak after that. So I like the translator to translate.
Vâng, quý của thành phố sẽ mời những cái quý vị còn lại trong cái nhóm chị nãy đó, nếu quý nào muốn phát biểu thì lên tiếng để phát biểu.
yes, thank you. Hello, the next person, in 15.
You're actually going to speak at the end after we call our next speakers.
Thưa quý vị sẽ phát biểu sau khi chúng tôi gọi cái người mà phát biểu kế tiếp. Chúng tôi sẽ gọi riêng những người khác rồi sẽ trở lại để tìm quý vị nhé.
Okay, thank you.
So our next speaker will be Jameson Howard.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Jameson Power. I'm a Westminster resident and a former Westminster School Board member. I'm also a current member member of the Westminster Community Services Commission, and I just wanted to thank the mayor and city council for that opportunity to serve the citizens of Westminster, especially Councilmember Monzo for appointing me to that position. And I'm here tonight to advocate for an item that I originally had intended to bring before the Community Services Commission, but after some introspection, I thought it would actually be better just to bring it directly to the council. And what I'm here today to advocate for is for the council to consider renaming Park West Park to honor Tony Lamb, who served as a council member in the city of Westminster from 1992 to 2002. As I'm sure you all know, he was not only the first Vietnamese American council member, he was actually the first person of Vietnamese descent to hold political office in the United States. And he was elected at a time when Vietnamese American voters were just a small fraction of the electorate in Westminster, making his historic achievement all the more remarkable. He was a trailblazer, and he paved the way for so many firsts that came later in the Vietnamese community. The first Vietnamese American mayor, Truy Ta, the first Vietnamese women council members in Garden Grove, Janet Nguyen, and in Westminster, Kimberly Ho, the first Vietnamese American assembly member, Van Tran, and the list goes on and on. First Vietnamese American state senator, we heard from earlier, Janet Nguyen again. So many remarkable men and women of Vietnamese descent have been elected to public office since Tony ran and former Councilmember Lamb ran in 1992. That I think we all, myself included, sometimes take that for granted. But back then that wasn't such an easy thing. And my view is we as a city owe Tony Lamb a debt of gratitude for opening doors that previously had been closed, and really showing the next generation, including my own children who are Vietnamese American, that anything's possible. So the reason I bring this before the council now is Tony Lamb is now 86 years old, and while I hope and pray he's going to be with us for many, many years to come, I really would like to see the city honor him during his lifetime, much like it has honored other trailblazers in our community, like the Mendez family, like the council has done through that project. So I would just ask the council to please consider honoring Tony Lamb and for all that he did for the trailblazer that he is. And that is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim. Can I say something real quick, Mayor?
Please.
Thank you, Commissioner Power, for that. And Commissioner Power brought this suggestion to me, and so I thank him for that initiative. And I told them it would be great if you would bring it to the council for council consideration. I think it's a great idea to honor Tony Lamb. Like James and Power just mentioned, everything he did. I would like us to really consider that, but bring that before us to council at a later meeting. Thank you. Thank you, James.
So our next speaker is Antonio Velasquez.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Antonio Velasquez. I am a member of the Southwest Regional Council of Carpenters. I represent roughly 4,000 carpenters in the county of Orange and roughly about 100 in the city of Westminster. I'd like to speak on agenda item 3.8, the Housing Authority. I think the city should require that projects be built utilizing a local and skilled and trained workforce. Local hires, skilled and trained workforce requirements reduce construction-related environmental impacts while benefiting the local economy. Last year, in a recent report titled Putting California on the High Road to Jobs and Climate Action Plan for 2030, the California Workforce Development Board concluded that investments in growing, diversifying, and upskilling California's workforce can positively affect returns on climate mitigations. Moreover, just this year, the South Coast Air Quality Management District found that use of local and state certified apprenticeship programs or a skilled and trained workforce with a local hire component can result in lower air pollutants. Local skilled and trained workforce requirements can boost development and mitigate transportation and greenhouse gases impacts by minimizing vehicles traveled in the city. Also, I think it'd be great for your constituents to be able to live and work in the city and be able to afford housing in the city that is built. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Amy Walsh.
Hi, sorry I was busy on my phone. Thought I'd be a little longer. So I wasn't planning on talking, and then I started hearing all of the ridiculous comments that are coming up again. And it just, can we just please, for the love of all that's holy, get back to what we are here to do? And that's to, I don't know, call me crazy, govern Westminster. How about that? Instead of just the name calling and the oh shame, like all I can hear and all I can see in my head is that meme of the lady from Game of Thrones walking around with her bell going shame. Come on, people. Please, if you're listening to my comment and you have your hand raised, please think about it. I would love to see our city council tonight get through the meeting and get actually everything done. I know, it's crazy, but I think they can do it if we all, stop with the comments about ridiculous things, which it is ridiculous. They are literally complaining about moving the mayor's office from one building to another. That, by the way, is the same. It's still city property. It's right across the way. It's not like he's gonna get lost going there. I'm sure that someone can walk him over there if he needs it. And by the way, he would then have an office over there where he can take the meetings. I know that was a concern that he would be having meeting space. Well, he would have space in his office over there. I mean, and if he needs, I know we are in 2021, so this might be surprising to some people, but if he needs to talk to any staff, there's this crazy thing that's called email. That's how it happens. Oh, and then on top of that, I know it's getting crazy, but we have a city manager, and said city manager is actually the person that the city council and the mayor should be going through. That's how it works in other cities. I know, it's crazy, it's great. So I'm just kind of throwing this out there that maybe we should be like other cities and do things the correct way. Instead of having our mayor in the middle of City Hall where everyone else is trying to do their jobs, but they're nervous because the mayor is standing right there or walking around or doing this, doing that. Maybe our city employees would be able to get more work done if he wasn't in City Hall and he was over in the other area doing his own thing. I've never seen something so just ridiculous in my life. I mean, please, people. This is something so trivial. And it's now turning into this vendetta that, shame. Come on. Let them do their jobs. Let us get on with the night. Please. Can we do this? Let them do the rest of the night with what they need to be focusing on, which is everything that's on the agenda. Not the, so-and-so said this and blah, blah, blah. Come on. That's all I have to say. Please, if anyone else can, back me up here, that'd be great. Have a great night. Let's speed this up. That's all.
Okay, our next speaker is Ginny. Yes.
Hi, my name is Win. I was in Westminster. I would like to know the reason that the city council might be able to vote to move his office today, but we will not forget. That's it.
Our next speaker is Kyle Dow.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me now?
Hi.
Yes. Hi, yes. Good evening, council members. I like to, first of all, regarding item 6.1.
Speaker would be Jody Boyd.
Hi, good evening, everybody. This is Jody Boyd. I'm a longtime resident of Westminster. Number one, I'd like to state that I completely agree with the gentleman who spoke before Amy regarding the union, and I think that we insist upon more union work performed in Westminster. Unions are good. I think that every single one of our city employees would agree with that because they're all union. But the carpenters and many of our trade unions, they offer people to come up with new career directions for younger people to offer them the training and the experience that they need to grow, earn a good paycheck and benefits, and to be able to support their families. And this is what we need in Westminster, is more good job opportunities for our residents. The second thing I want to comment on is every single legislative item under section 6 I am in favor of. And regarding the ridiculous notion that it's wrong to relocate the mayor's office, well, to anybody that's been paying any attention for the last 2 to 3 years, we've had ongoing issues with the mayor or members of the city council going directly to city staff rather than through their manager, who is the city manager. And the mayor and certain city council members have been trying to assert their influence, and in some cases, trying to get employees to do something that the employee felt was wrong. And there is fear. How do you push back on an elected official when they come and ask you to do something that you feel really is wrong? So given the state of our city, I think that our mayor definitely needs to be moved out of City Hall. Given his position and the parameters of his position, there's no reason to have him inside City Hall except for his own ego. In addition to that, I can't tell you how much the city needs a rotational mayor, and to put that on a ballot to go before the people. We've needed this for a long time, and I think it would be a good step to root out the corruption and the lack of transparency and the serious cronyism and the puppeteers that we have. Lastly, I really hope that November of 2022 will be the last that we see and Charlie win. Lastly, to round it all up, and I'm going to address this specifically to the city attorney, but also every member on the city council, I urge an agenda item to censor or remove Charlie from his office based on public conduct unbecoming to an elected official. If I hear crap out of his mouth one more time, I'm going to shove it where the sun doesn't shine, where it belongs. I mean, if his fits, his anger, and he becomes more and more unhinged,
Cal. Hi, Mendel.
Hi, yes. Hi, can you hear me now? Hello?
Hi.
Yes. Hello? Hello?
Our next speaker would be Terry Reigns.
Good evening and congratulations, Adolfo, on your appointment as interim assistant city manager, and a big welcome to our new PCC, Karen Monet, and interim city clerk, Lucy Colombo. Sadly, we must say goodbye to Alexis Silver, who had such a great opportunity, and to Diana
Hello?
Dover, who is retiring soon. You both have contributed so much to the city and will be greatly missed. The mayor, the
Hello?
vice mayor, and their thugs have been spewing lies all about
Yes. Oh, I just I just figure out how to get I think.
Damn day. The mayor did what?
Yes, please tell them to get me to speak again. I just connected. Thank you.
Council chambers, where it used to be. Council chambers equals council's house. City hall equals staff's house. Replace the should and should nots with shall and shall nots to strengthen the policy. Require public officials to sign a binding agreement to this policy, and amend the city's municipal code to incorporate by reference this entire policy, and then vote yes. Item 6.2 is to discuss changing the mayor's office to rotational from elected by way of a ballot measure. To be clear, this is not up to the council to decide, it is up to us, the voters. And council, you must give us that opportunity. This is badly needed in Westminster. Why? One, we're inside the office of mayor. Two, prevent one person from gaining too much power and the dictator like corrupt leadership we have now. Three, only 2 mayors in 21 years is crazy. Four, to give us 5 council districts instead of 4 for more diverse and equal representation from the compound. 5, constituents in each district receive their council members serve as mayor for at least 1 year. 6, the mayor serves on and represents the city on outside boards and commissions, and those need to rotate too. 7, to ensure the mayor has city council experience before becoming mayor. 8, to introduce fresh ideas each year. 9, to ensure city staff treat each council member with equal respect. And 10, Mayor Todd has blatantly not represented us all for almost 9 years, and we're done. Only 7 other cities in Orange County have an elected mayor. All but 1 are larger geographically and population-wise than us. Stanton is an anomaly. With only 3 square miles and many commercial and industrial areas, it would be difficult to carve out 5 districts there, and they do not have the diversity or deep political divide we do. Huntington Beach, Fullerton, and Mission Viejo are all larger than us, but have rotational mayors. Only Anaheim, 4 times our size, and Stanton have 4-year mayor terms, and the rest are 2-year terms. The rotational policy would need to be set, most likely by seniority to start. The vice mayor title would change to mayor pro tem. A council member could decline the mayor or mayor pro tem opportunity and yield to the next person in line. Council, you must let us vote on this. You report to us, so let's do this, Westminster. Yes on item 6.3, the nepotism policy. Add cousin to the ordinance and delete living in the same household because it doesn't matter where the relative lives. Clarify what or who is primary assistant of the city manager and decide when and if Western City must resign these 2 positions or that will apply to any future appointments. Then vote yes. Thank you, Councilman Mantle, for item 6.4 to discuss the council recognition and proclamation policy. The mayor issues them unilaterally outside the existing guidelines to people and groups with no connection to our city. This must stop. A rotational mayor would help. Many deserve recognition and don't get it. Mayor Todd, do you know what country you live in? What city you represent? Your actions, office decor, speeches, and priorities tell us you do not. The last certificate you issued was written in Vietnamese. Did you direct staff to do that? Just stop. Clean up this policy. All recognitions and proclamations must clearly be consistent with the stated categories and approved by the city manager. Requests outside of this must go before the entire city council for a vote. Yes on item 6.5 to conclude council meetings at midnight, but I still think the meeting should start at 6 or 6:30. The objection mentioned before was only because the mayor changed the time 1 meeting to 5 p.m. to fit his personal schedule and avoid public comments that night. Yes on item 6.6, not drawing us into any district with any LA County cities. The preliminary visualizations thus far support this. The state constitution mandates that to the extent possible, districts must preserve the geographic integrity of cities, counties, neighborhoods, and communities of interest, and state, senate, and assembly districts should be nested within each other where possible. I want our representation to prioritize us in Orange County cities over LA County. Vice Mayor, when your behavior is abhorrent, your ignorant comments and attack on the Saturday night lunches applicant were way out of line. You don't have a clue about special event permits because you refuse to give them for your events, and you're not the only one. For one vote, you just said crap. You are an embarrassment to the city. Strip this guy of the Vice Mayor title now and vote him and Todd out of office in 2022. Thank you.
And next, there is Camilla.
Fellow resident of Westminster, good evening, Mayor and City Council. I didn't originally plan on speaking tonight. However, here we are, yet again. This council is wasting time on an agenda that has no economic benefit for the city. And given Charlie's berating of a gentleman last meeting regarding permits for Saturday night munchies, I can only imagine that it's going to be more difficult than ever. This council needs to be forward-thinking in how we are going to survive financially. As for moving the mayor's office, it should be moved. The city's faced countless allegations of pressure from elected officials, and it's time for that to end. We shouldn't be paying for lawsuits because you guys can't control yourselves. I also strongly believe that Charlie should be stripped of the title of Vice Mayor and should seek anger management. Currently, I truly believe that he's unfit to hold office, but since there's no 25th Amendment for council, there's nothing I can do about that. Also, I sincerely hope that moving forward, these meetings will begin on time, not 30 minutes late. As a reminder, the posted meeting time is 7 p.m., not 7:15, not 7:30, but 7. Also, Kimberly Ho, many residents are waiting for your public apology for your use of the quite insensitive phrase Indian giver. And I'd also ask that you educate yourself on the topic and about Indigenous people so that you become a little bit more sensitive with your verbiage and understand just how hurtful that was. Also, Mayor, stop spewing lies and propaganda to boost yourself. You run this city as though you're a dictator. You are not. You are an elected official. Your vote weighs the same as everyone else on that dais, and your behavior is abhorrent. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Let's try time it down one more time.
All right, can you guys hear me now? All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Great. All right, sorry about the technical mishap. My first time ever talking to you guys. So, good evening, everyone. Regarding item 6.1, I'd like to commend and congratulate the council having come up with this resolution to adapting policy governing public official and employee interactions to address the cancer that has cursed our city for so long. And to the people that are opposing this resolution, please stop lying to the uninformed. You guys are not opposing this resolution to defend the right to protect the people. You guys are just used to doing business the corrupted way. It's been practiced and taught and passed down to you guys from teachers and masters like Mayor Margie Rice. Enough is enough. This has to stop. Please pass this resolution to help set our city back on the right track. Regarding resolution 6.2, I think this resolution, this situation has plagued our city for too long. People has been propping up an imaginary role of a mayor, which they call đô trưởng in Vietnamese. This misconception, whether through well thought out propaganda or mere stupidity, has made our city a war zone, if not the laughing stock of Orange County. People have been worshiping this mayor title, hyped it up into something comparable to a governor or even the president of the United States. in their latest plea to the Vietnamese listeners, to the Vietnamese audience, voters, in order to ask them to keep this position in the next election. If they want to use this position to push some kind of hidden agenda or to gain power or profit, we should eliminate this position ASAP. Even if they worship this position out of mere stupidity, we still have to get rid of this election, of this position, because it has created too much destruction, confliction, altercation, defamation. It tears our community apart. It costs us too much money and time unnecessarily, not to mention the headache it costs us. Please stop this madness. And to Madam Councilwoman Kimberly Ho, I think this is your opportunity to prove once and for all to the people that their accusation against you is not true, just a big lie. You don't want the mayor title. You are not running against Chita to be the mayor of our city in 2022. Just vote yes to change the office of mayor from direct election to rotating process. Thank you.
Now we're back to Marlene.
Bây giờ thì mình sẽ trở lại cái nhóm mà có tên là Mộ Thị Quyên đó. Để khi nào muốn phát biểu cái gì thì phát biểu.
Rồi mình đọc như vậy là hết khoảng 4 phút, chưa đến 5 phút nha. Đúng ra là mình có thể nói thêm nữa, nhưng mà thôi mình viết nhiều đó thì mình đọc nhiều đó thôi. May mắn là mình đọc chỉ có 4 phút, thành ra không có bị ngừng giữa chừng. Bây giờ mời các bạn theo dõi tiếp tục trong buổi họp của tổ này.
Rồi cô phát biểu đi, cô nói rõ ràng.
Tôi tên là Vân, mình xin có một cô
My name is Ben. I have a few things to say to Ms. Kimberly Ho.
Ý kiến thứ nhất là về nhập viện trưởng và nghị viên không được tiếp xúc với trưởng phòng mà chỉ được tiếp xúc với CD manager, tức là tổng quản trị đội thành phố đó. Như vậy là đi ngược lại với các thẩm quyền.
So the first thing I would like to say is that you kind of limit the mayor's interaction and you limit that to interaction between the mayor and the city manager only. That would be in contravention, or that would be counter to what we would call a balance of power, separation of power.
Từ nghị trưởng và đến các nghị viên rồi mới đến các trưởng phòng và sau cùng là tổng quản trị.
Cô nói rõ hơn, cô nói rõ ràng thì không có gì, cô nói rõ ràng.
Như vậy là đi ngược lại với nguyên tắc phân quyền từ nghị trưởng và các nghị viên rồi mới đến các trưởng phòng và sau cùng là tổng quản trị. Khi một người nghị viên mà muốn liên lạc với tổng quản trị hay là những người này mà phải đi đến các trưởng phòng rồi sau đó mới liên lạc được với nghị viên. Như vậy là có 5 nghị viên và kể cả nghị trưởng.
So when a person want to contact that, they have to contact the head of that department. Well, you have 5 city council members, or you have 42 city council members and a mayor. Cô nói rõ
Có 5 nghị viên kể cả nghị trưởng và trưởng phòng, mà việc gì cũng phải liên lạc với tổng quản trị thì làm sao mà tổng quản trị thỏa mãn được tất cả những cái đòi hỏi của người dân.
So you have 5 city council members that include the mayor, and so whatever you want to do, you have to contact the city manager. That the city manager him or herself cannot handle all the interaction, all the requests from the residents.
đồ ngu xuẩn, tốn thêm thời gian và tiền của CD và tiền thuế của người dân đóng góp. Tôi hoàn toàn chống lại việc này.
This is a crazy and stupid idea. It's wasting taxpayers' money, and I am against this.
Ý kiến thứ hai là văn phòng thị trưởng thì không được ở trong tòa thị chính thì phải ở đâu?
So the second thing is about the mayor's office, and that the mayor's office should not be within City Hall. Then where should it be?
Thị trưởng Lý Tạ đã được cư dân của Westminster chúng tôi bầu lên trong cả 4 chức vụ chứ không phải là một.
Mayor Da was voted by the residents of the city of Westminster, and that those residents came from 4 different districts and not just one district.
Người thị trưởng đóng một vai trò rất là quan trọng trong hình ảnh của tòa thị chính Westminster.
Mayors play an important role at City Hall in the city of Westminster.
Ông cũng được cư dân mến mộ, vậy mà bà như cái hồn này, bà lấy tư cách gì mà để văn phòng của ông phải đi ra ở một nơi khác?
And the mayor is loved by the residents. And so Ms. City Hall, what?
Chúng tôi đã bầu ông ấy lên và muốn văn phòng của ông ấy phải là ở trong tòa thị chính.
What do you have that you can try to move the mayor office from City Hall? We voted him in, we voted for him, and we wanted his office to be within City Hall.
Bà thật là một con người vô ơn bà nghĩa. Thị trưởng Hạ Đức Trí đã tận tình giúp đỡ bà.
You Ms. Hall, Councilmember Hall, is ungrateful. Mayor Da has helped you. Would not difficult.
Dạ, khi mà bà bắt đầu vào sự nghiệp chính trị, vậy mà bà nỡ lòng nào trở mặt về phe của tài đổ.
Mayor Da helped and fully supported you when you started your political career, but then now you turn around and side with Taido.
Bà tài đổ là cái người đã cùng với Hoàng Kiều đi qua bà.
And Taido and Hoàng Kiều was the one that tried to recall you.
Chúng tôi đã vớt bà lên.
We saved you.
Với tính cách phản phúc với đồng nghiệp, như vậy là bà có xứng đáng là một nghị viên của thành phố Westminster không?
And now that you have betrayed your colleagues, you think that you were deserved to be our representative and serve the city of Westminster?
Dù bà có dùng lá phiếu 3/2 nữa để mà mua đồ làm chuyện mà chúng tôi không muốn.
Even though you might be able to secure a 3-2 vote to carry out the personal agenda, things that we voters do not want.
Bà đã nhận việc xây dựng tổ thành, tái chiếm quản trị.
You have prevent or solve the erection of the building of the recapture of the ancient citadel of Twenty.
Tôi và bạn bè tôi, gia đình tôi thề sẽ dùng lá phiếu để tống cổ bà và đồng bọn trong nhiệm kỳ tới ra khỏi thành phố Westminster.
My friend and I, we have a vow and to remove you from the city of Westminster at the next election.
Bà là người ăn cháo đá bát, đó là một con người rất là tồi tệ, đê hèn.
You are an ungrateful.
You know, a lot of personal attack and that we church should be able to translate that.
Nhưng đó là sự thật.
Well, but that is the truth. That is something that you cannot deny. And I'm dead. Thank you.
Hello. The next question. Cái này focus on the real problem of the city instead of doing payback against the mayor. You need to work for the residents of Westminster, not for yourself and to satisfy your own power and ego. Ms. Ho, why are you now working with the very same people who attacked you viciously just last year? What kind of person are you to stab your friends and sponsors in the back? We have lied to the public, repeatedly, creating problems with your council colleagues and with your own friend and supporter. You are doing a disservice to your own community. You are in this for yourself, and the voters are now seeing that clearly. Your motives are impure. You are very selfish. Now you are siding yourself with Dido and Carlos Mendo, two of the very same people who have dragged you through the mud and wanted you off the council in 2020. Your action is condemnable. It shows that you are two-faced and willing to betray your friends and colleagues for your own interests. We, the residents of Westminster, don't need the three people like you, Kimberly Home, Dido, and Carlos Mendo. You have done lots of things to disappoint us. And even if you win this ridiculous request, because using the free vote you have against the two votes from others. But residents of Westminster will use their vote if you out on the coming election in any future election. Because you three are just worthless. You are just so worthless for the city of Westminster. And then, thank you. Next I will have this one. So this one interpreting.
Thank you, the interpreter here. You should go back to the original to vote down. You could push the vote nói rõ ràng thì tôi có thể nghe hiểu để dịch cho tôi.
Kính thưa đồng chí và các ủy viên hội đồng thành phố.
Your honorable mayor and city council member.
Tôi tên Xuân.
My name is Yuan.
Tôi phản đối đề nghị ra khỏi CTO.
I am speaking up against the eviction of the mayor office out of City Hall.
Thị trưởng Hạnh Chiến là người được toàn thể dân cư bầu ra.
Mayor Gita was voted by all of the residents.
Để đại diện cho thành phố.
Represent the city.
Do đó, văn phòng thị trưởng phải được đặt trong City Hall.
And because of that, the mayor office should be at City Hall.
Đây là một yêu cầu cần thiết cho hoạt động của thành phố.
This is what is needed for the preparation of the city.
Bất cứ hành động nào di dời văn phòng thị trưởng.
Any attempt to relocate the mayor office
Chỉ là gây tai hại cho thành phố mà thôi.
will only cause harm or do harm to the city.
Hành động này còn có thêm mục tiêu nhục mạ và thù thị trưởng Tạ Đức Chí.
And this is also an act of personal vendetta and an act to embarrass Mayor Trita.
Chỉ vì ông ta là thị trưởng gốc Việt đầu tiên tại Hoa Kỳ.
And that was just because he is the first mayor of Vietnamese descent in America.
hành động này là một sự tấn công thô bạo.
This is a cruel attack
Vào sự đại diện của cộng đồng người Mỹ gốc Việt trong khu Kitô Sài Gòn này.
There's an attack on the representative of the community of the residents of Sài Gòn.
Quý vị có thể nói đây không phải là kỳ thị nhắm vào cộng đồng Việt Nam.
You can claim that this is not discrimination against the Vietnamese community.
Vì đề nghị này do nghị viên chi với hội đề ra.
And you may say that because this propositions here, this proposal came from council member Kimberly
Và là một người Mỹ gốc Việt.
and that she is a Vietnamese American.
Trong lịch sử Việt Nam và cũng như ngày hôm nay.
Throughout the history of Vietnam and also today,
Có rất nhiều người bán nước.
there's a lot of people who betray their own country.
Phản bội lại tổ quốc và đồng bào.
They betray their own country and their own people.
Và sẵn sàng bán đứng đất nước để trả thù cá nhân.
And they're willing to sell out their own country to carry out their personal vendetta.
Nghị viên chi với hội là một người như vậy.
And that is council member Kimberly.
Khi một người nổi cơn thù liên để trả thù cá nhân.
When a person is mad and all they care about is to carry out their personal vendetta,
Họ không còn biết về lý trí và lẽ phải.
they don't care about reasons, they don't care what's wrong and what's right anymore.
Trong bất cứ một tiêu nào.
They willing to do that to serve their agenda.
Nghị viên chi với hội không còn biết đâu là sự thật và chính nghĩa nữa.
Council member Kimberly doesn't know what truth is anymore and what is right or wrong.
Nếu quý vị tham gia góp tay vào hành động điên rồ này.
If you continue to support her to carry out this maddening act,
Quý vị sẽ phải trả lời với cư dân.
you will have to answer to the voter or the residents.
Trong đó có rất nhiều người là cư dân gốc Việt.
And so many of those would be residents of Vietnamese descent.
Tôi mong quý vị hãy xét kỹ về phiếu bầu của quý vị về vấn đề này.
I urge you to carefully consider your vote on this matter.
Còn nghị viên chi với hội là con rắn hai đầu.
Council member Kimberly is a two-headed snake.
Nếu bà đề nghị cho thị trưởng ra khỏi CPO,
What do you think?
thì cư dân đến nhà bà họ phải không?
So if you suggest that or you propose to relocate the mayor office out from City Hall, then where would the meeting be? The meeting would be at your house.
Bà trả lời đi.
Say yes to me.
Cư dân kéo đến nhà bà mỗi lần quảng cáo phải không bà?
So the resident would come to your house every time there was a meeting.
Rồi, xin cảm ơn quý vị.
And thank you.
The next person would be Ms. Chan, and she needs interpretation too.
So the interpreter is standing by and
She
ready.
will need interpretation.
Dạ, cô nói đi rồi tôi sẽ đưa cô xin cô phát biểu rồi.
Dạ, kính thưa quý vị.
Lady and gentlemen, good evening.
Tôi tên là Bình Trang.
My name is Chang Wood.
Tôi không thể tưởng tượng là hai nghị viên Kimberly và Charlotte Manson lại đưa ra đề nghị chưa thấy thành phố nào mà văn phòng viện trưởng lại phải nằm ngoài City Hall.
I have never seen any city, known of any city where the mayor office is not within City Hall.
Thật là vô lý.
This is just ridiculous and it's unreasonable.
Văn phòng viện trưởng từ trước đến giờ đã ở trong City Hall.
Up until now, the mayor office has always been within City Hall.
Tại sao quý vị lại muốn giờ đi?
Why are you relocate? Why do you want to relocate the mayor's office?
Bà Hồ chỉ muốn trả thù ông thị trưởng.
Ms. Hall just wanted to carry out her personal vendetta against the mayor.
Chính tạ
Mayor
là việc bịa đặt chuyện rồi kẻ đủ thứ tội cho ông Tạ Đức Chí.
And she fabricated things and labeled all sorts of accusations against Mayor Ita.
Rồi lại tốn tiền thành phố để hỏi ra nhận chuyện ông đâu ra đâu.
And she wastes city's money to dig up things that are meaningless.
Một mình ông Tạ, một phiếu bầu làm sao mà đổ hết tội cho ông ta.
Mr. Ta just one vote, so why are you putting all the blame on him?
Sao mà bà làm những chuyện thiếu hiểu biết và ngu dốt như vậy?
Why are you doing something that is so inconsiderate and so stupid?
Xin bà đừng đóng kịch giả, giờ khóc lóc.
Please stop acting, being dramatic, crying, and all.
Làm ra vẻ lo lắng cho thành phố.
You act as if you care about the city.
Nếu bà sự thật, sự vì thành phố thì bà ngừng lại ngay những chuyện làm mất thời giờ.
If you really care about the city, stop doing what you're doing and wasting time.
Và tiền bạc của thành phố như những nghị tình bà.
Stop wasting the city's time and money.
Ông Tài Đỗ và ông Men Do đưa ra.
The agenda put forward by Nigel and Homelessness.
Bà đã đang tiếp tục làm tốn tiền thuế của người dân.
You are wasting the taxpayers' money.
Khi bà ăn cắp ý tưởng xây dựng tượng đài.
When you stole that idea of the monument.
Bà chiếu của thành quản trị.
When you stole that idea to erect that monument in honor of the recapture of the ancient citadel of Quảng Trị.
Để trao cho một đám người khác làm một tượng đài khác.
To give that to another group to build the monument, a different monument.
Chủ nhật vừa qua, bao nhiêu nhân viên thành phố.
Last Sunday, the city staff were not difficult.
Phải sửa soạn tuyên thệ.
Took a lot of city staff to prepare for the oath.
Cho cái gọi là Ủy ban xây dựng tượng đài của bà Hồ.
For the so-called monument committee that belong to Ms. Hall.
Nhân viên thành phố còn phải đi họp bao nhiêu lần nữa?
How many more times that the city staff have to attend those kinds of meetings?
Trước khi có tượng đài hả bà Hồ?
How more time today up to the city staff and the handles at the meeting before we can have the monument so.
Bà đừng bị dân và lừa dối chúng tôi nữa nha.
Stop fooling us. Stop fooling the resident.
Chúng tôi không quá ngây thơ như bà tưởng đâu.
We are not as naive as you think.
Đã quá đủ để chúng tôi nhìn rõ con người thật.
Enough. We can see through you and see your true self.
Phản bội cho vô cách của bà.
The kind of betray that you are.
Chúng tôi sẽ bãi nhiệm bà ra khỏi thành phố Westminster nha.
We're gonna recall you and ship you out of the city of Westminster.
Mấy năm nay bà giúp được cái gì?
What have you done for the city for the last few years?
Cho thành phố, bà nói láo nhiều lắm.
What have you done for the city for the last few years? You lied a lot.
Bà không xứng đáng là nghị viên nữa.
You are not deserving to be out city council member anymore.
Tôi mong bà tình nguyện không làm nghị viên nữa.
I hope that you voluntarily cease to be city council member.
Dạ xong rồi, cảm ơn.
And with that, I'm done. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chị Mai, còn một người nữa là còn một người đó là chị Mai và tôi đi đây ạ. Hello.
So next we have Mai and Monique Lê. The interpreter would like to know if any of these two speakers need an interpreter. Có người nào trong hai người phát biểu để cần thông dịch không ạ?
Dạ, chị Mai cần thông dịch và không cần. Và hai người đều cần thông dịch ạ. Mai và
need the assistance of the interpreter. Alright, các biểu đi các biểu rõ ràng những cái dịch.
Dạ, xin chào quý vị. Tôi là Mai Lương.
Good evening, I am Mai Lương.
Người dân Westminster.
I am a resident of the city of Westminster.
Tôi vô cùng thất vọng với hai nghị viên Andrew and Paul.
I'm so disappointed with council member Enzo and Paul.
Đã đưa vào nghị trình việc dẹp bỏ văn phòng thị trưởng ra khỏi tòa đô thị.
For placing on the agenda the relocation of the mayor office from City Hall.
Quý vị đại diện cho thành phố Westminster nhưng lại làm những chuyện chỉ mọi ý kiến của thành phố.
You're supposed to represent the city of Westminster, but what you are doing is to damage the city of Westminster and to cast bad reputation on the city of Westminster.
Có thành phố nào trong quận Cam mà không có văn phòng của thị trưởng không?
Is there a city within Orange County where the mayor's office is not within City Hall?
Chúng tôi cần những người đại diện có tâm lo cho dân, chứ không phải chỉ lo trả thù cá nhân.
We need representatives that care about the resident and not just their personal agenda.
Okay, thank you very much.
And so thank you very much.
The last one is Tony Lê. Hello.
Dạ tôi là người thông dịch đi. Interpreter nói đi rồi tới gì ạ?
Ok. Anh ơi, em tên là Tony Lê.
Hi, my name is Tony Lê.
Đây là chưa bao giờ lần đầu tiên hôm nay là lần đầu tiên em có biểu.
This would be the first time ever that I speak.
Dạ vâng, tại vì nhất là tức là em nói là văn phòng thị trưởng
say that the mayor of the city to be within City Hall?
Rồi chưa có thành phố nào mà văn phòng địa trưởng nằm ở ngoài hết.
There has never been a city where the mayor office is not within City Hall.
Rồi cái điều hai, cách đây 2 tuần.
The second thing is 2 weeks ago.
Rồi là địa trưởng Chí Tạ đang còn nói chuyện tại sao 3 cái nghị viên TP Hồ Kha Lất mà đang còn tài độ biết nghĩa cái ông Chí Tạ.
So 2 weeks ago, the mayor was talking. Why did the other 3 members, Tom Benzo, Kimberly Ho, and Ido, try to shut him up?
Rồi giống như là ông Giang Lý tại ở bên Việt Nam.
That's like what they did to Father Lee in Vietnam.
Cái này là xứ hợp dụng quốc cho việc chứ không phải là việc ổn.
This is the United States of America, and this is not a communist country.
Rồi tôi muốn rằng từ đây sắp tới đó, mà nghị viên đó không bao giờ bị Chí Tạ với lại bị cho đi quyền hành trí nữa. Hiểu tôi nói không?
I want to see going forward that those 3 council members try not to silence Mayor Jada and Vice Mayor Charlie Nguyen anymore. You got my point?
Tôi không muốn chuyện đó xảy ra nữa.
I don't want to see that happening ever again.
Ok, cái điều thứ mà đó, tôi đi hồ, tôi nói lại tới tôi đi hồ nha.
And the third thing is in regard to Ms. Kimberly Ho. I'm talking about Ms. Kimberly Ho now.
Đi hồ, tôi nhớ tôi là ai không?
Ms. Kimberly Ho, do you remember who I am?
Tháng 4 năm 2020 vừa rồi, cô là người nhờ cô với gia đình bạn bè họ hàng không có giấy để mà recall cô với lại ông Tạ Đức Chí với lại Chí Tạ với lại cái ông gì chơi Nguyễn Văn Chí.
In April of 2020, you asked me to ask my family and my friends to vote or to sign against the recall of Mayor Ta and Giselle and of Charlie Nguyen.
Với lại cô là người nhờ tôi cầu nguyện cho cô với lại gia đình của cô.
You were the person who asked me to pray for you and your family.
Cô có cầu nguyện là cô là người trách lại cho tôi, cô rất là mang ơn tôi.
And you texted me and you said you were you appreciate what I did. You were grateful for what I did.
Tại sao bây giờ cô lại ăn cháo đá bát vậy?
So why are you now turning around, fighting the hand that beat you?
Sau là cái điều thứ tư đó.
The fourth thing is,
Điều thứ tư đó, ông Tạ Đức Chí không có làm cái gì chuyện gì sai. Cô với lại 2 cái người nghị viên đó đừng bao giờ vu oan cho ông Tạ Đức Chí.
Mr. Dan has not done anything wrong. You two should not label all the accusation, level all the accusation against you.
Quý vị mà vu oan ông Tạ Đức Chí á, giờ cao có mắt giờ cao cũng sẽ phạt à.
If you give leveling all accusations against Mayor Dita, God will see to it that God will punish you.
Và cái điều thứ năm đó, tôi muốn rằng cuộc sống này vô thường lắm.
I want you to know that this life here, is short and impermanent. I'm sorry.
Dạ, tôi muốn ai cũng có cái lỗi lầm
other, to work with each other.
Số rồi, đặc biệt tôi muốn nói với cô Kim Ly là tối nay cô muốn ba nghị viên này không được rời cái văn phòng để giữ cả đức trí ra ngoài.
And so I'm addressing Council Member Kimberly Ho. I want you three tonight not to relocate the mayor office from City Hall.
Nếu mà cô không làm á thì chúng tôi tất cả mọi người tôi bảo đảm 100% chúng tôi sẽ là recall cô.
And if you don't do what I just requested, I can guarantee you 100% that we will recall you.
Rồi sau đó là cuộc đời chính trị của cô giống như là rap vậy đó.
And your political career would be in the gavel today.
Dạ vâng. Đó, cho nên là tôi biết là cô biết tôi là ai rồi nha, chị nha, Kimberly nha.
So, Ms. Kimberly, I think you know who I am.
Rồi cho nên là một lần cuối cùng tôi chúc sức khỏe tới cho thị trưởng tất cả nghị viên ở trong đó mạnh khỏe, hạnh phúc, bình an.
The last thing I would like to wish good health to the mayor, and all of the city council members. I wish you happiness
Good health.
and good health.
Em đây là God bless you guys.
God bless you guys.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you.
Okay, so the next speaker is the city manager has more power than the mayor.
Yes, this is truth. I would really appreciate it if somebody would educate all of these people that called in that under the form of government in the city of Westminster, it's the city manager that has all the power, not the mayor. The mayor is simply a ceremonial position. Our city manager, currently the acting city manager, Christine Cordon, has far more power than the mayor or anybody else at or around City Hall. So, I don't know what kind of propaganda the mayor and Charlie and the Vietnamese media have unfortunately been stuffing your ears with, but you don't
May I ask Ms. Judy Boyd?
Sir, I've been waiting for you to get your gavel out.
Ms. Judy Boyd, I think you already spoke. I recognize your voice. You need to talk and that is you.
Will you please educate your people on the real form of
City Clerk does Ms. Judy Boyd and she already spoke. So,
well, but you're not doing your job, sir. Whatever your job is, it's just.
so I may ask City Clerk to ask the next person. Okay, please.
Okay, the next speaker is Tammy Hamel.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I haven't followed that, but that was pretty good. Tammy Hamel, Westminster resident. I have to say, I agree with Amy Walsh, Jody, Terry, Camilla, all the comments they were making about how these meetings are being run, specifically Charlie Wynn's behavior, which is unacceptable. His comments, his language, the way he votes, and he absolutely voted crap one time, which that is just completely unreasonable for a vice mayor to do. Not to mention the room full of people again that we've been having these a lot this year. I thought last time it was discussed and that was going to be stopped because it seems to be they are saying the same things about the same people. They are using the same buzzwords that a certain vice mayor seems to use as well. He attacks the same people that they're attacking. The only one he doesn't seem to any time say something negative about is the mayor, which is the same, at least rooms full of people that are saying negative things about the other 3 council members. Never say anything negative about the mayor. So yeah, I kind of agree that he needs to be censured or removed, because I think if anyone else had acted that way, at least Mayor Todd would have put a stop to it, but he doesn't put a stop to his comments or his language that with other people he would say is inappropriate. Something else I'd like to bring up, since there's been some talk about these resolutions that are improper, that need to be revoked. I seem to remember, I want to say it was 2019 maybe, when there was a recall against 3 council members. Kimberly O herself in a meeting called Westminster activists terrorists, and there was then a resolution saying that these certain people in Westminster were secretly working for the Hanoi regime. So I'm still waiting for
ai xui miệt ấy ghé về thăm. Bún cá phở quyên vẫn mãi thèm, hầm rục xương cá ngọt liệm, chả cá vàng tươi ngon giòn, nước lèo bốc khói thơm ngát, tương hành chanh ớt. Chị mời em ăn tô bún cá chứa chan tình người.
Xin mời quý vị đến với phở quyên, ăn một lần lại muốn ăn thêm. Phở quyên 714 896 0928 896 0928.
Ok, mình đang ở ProCare Pharmacy bên trong khu trung tâm y tế đa khoa bác sĩ Michael Đào, đang chuẩn bị chờ chích ngừa nha. Giống như mình nói với anh Dũng Taylor đó, mình chưa chích là một phần vì lười, một phần vì hồi đó mình muốn để dành cho những người cần chích hết đi rồi đến phiên mình, chứ cũng không có phải là vấn đề chính kiến hay là chủ trương hay là quan điểm gì hết nha. Đó, thành ra hôm nay thì mặc dù mình tính chích cả tháng nay rồi, nhưng mà hôm nay thì quay qua quay lại giờ mới tại vì mình thức khuya dậy trễ đó, thành ra đến bây giờ ngày hôm nay thì mới gọi là đi ra ngoài vào giờ làm việc được, thành ra hôm nay mới ghé lại đây. May mà cũng mới điền đơn xong, có lẽ là sẽ được chích, hình như được chích Pfizer. Mặc dù là mình không có bảo hiểm, không có gì hết, nhưng mà nói chung là sẽ chích mũi đầu tiên hôm nay nha.
Kính thưa quý vị, bây giờ là 8 giờ 10 phút. Các quý vị thấy quang cảnh ở trong cái phía trước của khách sạn Ramada, và có thể nói lần lượt tất những người đến để tiếp xúc với là lương y Võ Hoàng Yên. Từ mở sáng thì chúng tôi đã thấy rất đông người, hiện nay thì có thể nói cái không khí rất là đông. Hôm qua thì trong một cái cuộc tiếp xúc đầu tiên, lương y Võ Hoàng Yên đã làm cho tất cả những người bệnh nhân kính phục và tôn kính ông khi có những người bệnh nhân bị liệt chân, điếc, nói không được, và ông bằng mọi cách đã làm cho những người đó trở lại bình thường. Đây là một trong những cái sự kiện có thể nói lần đầu tiên xảy ra tại quận Cam, và hôm nay chắc có lẽ cũng quan tâm đến những người dân ở trong khu vực của thành phố ông. Kính thưa quý vị, bên đây là ông thị trưởng Tạ Đức Trí. Kính chào ông thị trưởng.
Dạ, chúng tôi xin chào anh Đoàn Trọng và kính thưa tất cả quý khán thính giả. Hôm nay chúng tôi đến đây cũng như là có vài lời để cảm ơn lương y Võ Hoàng Yên cũng như là các đệ tử của ông đã thường xuyên tổ chức những cái buổi chữa bệnh để mà giúp cho rất là nhiều các vị ở trong cộng đồng. Và trong rất nhiều những cái thời gian vừa qua thì chúng tôi cũng đã quan sát bằng internet những cái lần mà lương y Võ Hoàng Yên đã đi khắp nơi để mà chữa bệnh, thì thiết nghĩ rằng đây là một cái việc làm rất là được đáng ca ngợi. Tại những cái buổi chữa bệnh này là những cái buổi chữa bệnh từ thiện, và với một cái người vừa có cái tâm mà vừa có những cái tài, những cái khả năng đặc biệt và lại đem ra để giúp đời cũng như cứu người, thì chúng tôi vô cùng ngưỡng mộ cũng như là xin một lần nữa cảm ơn lương y Võ Hoàng Yên cũng như là tất cả các thành viên trong phái đoàn của ông đã không ngại thời gian, không ngại tất cả những cái chi phí để có mặt ngày hôm nay, để mà chúng ta thấy được rất nhiều đồng hương đã xếp hàng từ sớm, cũng như chúng tôi được biết được có rất nhiều đồng hương đã phải ghi tên, đã phải thức dậy 4-5 giờ sáng để mà có thể đến chữa bệnh ngày hôm nay.
Kính thưa quý vị, đó là ông thị trưởng Tạ Đức Trí của thành phố Westminster. Cảm ơn ông thị trưởng.
Rồi, cảm ơn anh Đoàn Trọng, cảm ơn tất cả quý đài đã có mặt ngày hôm nay để mà giới thiệu tới một cái sinh hoạt mà rất là đặc biệt trong cộng đồng Việt của chúng ta.
Kính thưa lương y, hôm qua thì chắc hệ thống truyền hình đều ghi lại những hình ảnh mà đồng hương đến đây thăm viếng và ra về nhiều người cảm là mến phục và tôn kính lương y. Hôm qua thì lương y thấy không khí ở quận Cam như thế nào thưa lương y?
Rất là hạnh phúc. Kiều bào chúng ta sống ở xứ người mà rất là tình nghĩa. Chúng ta cần phải phát huy thêm cái tinh thần đạo đức và nghĩa tình của người dân tộc mình. Tôi rất là hân hạnh, rất là vui mừng, không ngờ nơi đây người thị trưởng hiện hữu ở đây lại là người Việt Nam mình nữa. Rất là hạnh phúc, rất là tự hào cho dân tộc Việt.
Nhưng mà lại gần quê với lương y, cũng gần tới Cà Mau mà.
Quê Bạc Liêu, quê ngoại của thầy. Vui quá.
Thế lương y ở định ở lại đây bao lâu tất cả?
Dạ chỉ có 2 ngày, từ hôm nay và ngày mai. Dạ.
Thế lương y dự trù có sẽ giải quyết cho tất cả những người hâm mộ đến viếng thăm lương y không?
Dạ, cố gắng hết sức mình chứ không có lần nào thầy chữa hết bệnh nhân cả. Nhưng mà thầy sẽ cố gắng.
Kính thưa quý vị, đó là lương y Võ Hoàng Yên với những cái lời tâm sự của ông, với một cái nụ cười duyên dáng, tiếng nói phát xuất từ người miền dân Nam Bộ. Và trong những lần hôm qua thì ông đã bày tỏ tất cả các bệnh nhân của ông cái tinh thần đạo đức là một trong những cái tinh thần chính trong cái công việc làm của ông. Chắc quý vị thấy từ mờ sáng đông người đã đến đây, và một lần nữa chúng tôi cũng giới thiệu đến tất cả những nhân viên thuyền nghiền đến cùng ông. Chắc quý vị cũng đã biết vào ngày thứ Sáu ông có mặt tại thành phố Houston, đáp máy bay đến quận Cam của chúng ta, và ông như lời lương y Võ Hoàng Yên cho biết rằng ông sẽ ở lại quận Cam 2 ngày. Không lần nào mà ông có thể đáp ứng đến tất cả các bệnh nhân, nhưng với một cái tấm lòng yêu mến và có thể nói mến mộ và đạo đức của ông đã cho thấy một cái sự kiện lạ tại quận Cam. Chúng tôi tường trình từ khách sạn Ramada.